Thank you. That's a little meditation to start. We're going to start off today's service with an original song called The You That You Don't Know. The reminder to find that part of ourselves that is eternally strong. You know, we've got strengths, we've got weaknesses, but this is about leaning into those strengths. If you knew the you that you don't know, you love yourself from head to toe. You'd never be too sad or low. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you saw the you that you don't see, you would feel so differently. You'd be as happy as can be. If you saw the you that you don't see, you say, what a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you heard the you that you don't hear, all the doubt would disappear. 'Cause you're so charming and sincere. Yeah, the you that you don't hear. What a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. You may not see it for yourself. It's just everybody else. When the earth is old and cold and gray, and we're out beyond the Milky Way, who shall lead humanity? Well, I'd send the you that you don't see. And they'll say, what a human, what a friend, what a model citizen. You know why the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. Just how the people love you so. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you knew the you that you don't know. If you knew the you that you don't know. Welcome everybody, happy Sunday. And let's give a nice round of applause to our guest Reverend Marcus Gilliland.
Good morning, everyone. Good to be back in Fallbrook. And good morning to everyone online. We're just knowing that you're enjoying your coffee and tea and didn't want to fight the traffic for the festival this morning. And for all of the congregants that have booths, I hear that some have some vending booths down there. We wish them success and joy and fun on this day. So the question that I have to start us off is, what are you listening to and for these days? What are you listening to and for?
That's an interesting question. Listening to, well, I'm making more of an active attempt to listen to things that are uplifting, because there's a lot of stuff that can really bring you down quickly. And listening for, I guess, would be kind of related to that in terms of listening for signs that things are progressing or changing in positive ways.
I guess I could say I'm listening for the wisdom of those before me that I think that I deem to have gone through things that are similar to the conundrums I see in front of me. So I see a problem, and I think, who's gone through something similar before? So I try to learn from the wisdom of, whether it's historians or, critical thinkers of that type from the past, and try to learn from that wisdom.
I think I'm similar. I find myself listening a lot to political commentary recently, and it tends to consume, I find it consuming my attention. And so I then intentionally try to find something else to listen to. What is a different narrative that's going on right now? Or what is a new voice that's coming through that has a different perspective than everything's falling apart and we're all going to fall off the planet here. So that's kind of what I'm intentionally trying to move my focus away from the agitation towards something that's uplifting or meaningful.
For the past 6 months or so, I've been listening to my higher self. And I realized that's what it was, because now I'm purposely listening for that still small voice, and I'm telling that still small voice, could you be louder?
Anyone got an answer for that question? Meredith at the back? Absolutely.
I'm listening for joy, because we all need to be more joyful. So last night I had the opportunity to take my friend who has not been joyful, and we went and listened to music and just laughed. She said, I haven't laughed that hard in 6 months. And that, find the joy in everything. So that's my search.
Anyone else?
I have been listening to something very specifically, and also for consciousness, to notice what I'm noticing. Sometimes it's called metacognition. But I find that when I notice what I'm noticing, then I can choose more freely. And so what I listen for is, what is the right choice? Sometimes it's, how can I serve? What is the right choice? But that conversation then becomes a good one that I try to keep in all the time, is listening to the answers I get from noticing what I'm noticing.
Anyone else? Daniel?
Hey there. What I listen to is what I'm listening for, and that is to be fed, to nourished, to be moved, to go deeper into wherever I am and connect to whatever I get connected to by what I'm listening to.
Love that. Listening to yourself. Chris?
Well, I'm listening to the voice of God within me to get guidance on how I can be the most helpful.
Looks good.
Thank you. I guess that's my cue. We're going to move on to the announcements. Mr. Steve?
He's got it.
Okay. 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 Saturday, April 25th at 1 p.m., we have the Celebration of Life for Gary Riches. We have Magdalena.
Mantras with Magdalena.
Mantras with Magdalena. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's April 26th.
April 26th.
Next
and
Sunday.
May 17th.
Correct. So next Sunday is the first one at 9:45 a.m. on Sunday.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. I think that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Then we got New Thought in the World with Open Conversation with Reverend Dr. Guy, April 26th. That's also next Sunday. Looks like after service with New Thought in the World. This is your one.
This is mine. Da-da-da. We have youth and family every Sunday at 10:30. We started Easter last year, and we've had 20 children visit our youth department. And we had a successful Easter egg hunt. Thank you to our Easter bunnies. So this year, I'm hoping to triple that amount of children coming. And do we have a Kinship Cafe, Sundays 9 to 10 a.m., right before service with Jim, who also is our heartbeat behind the music. And then we have the Open Mind Gift Shop, a metaphysical boutique, amazing gifts, amazing greeting cards, and new things every week. And that's 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday, and of course, on Sunday mornings. And our prayer ministry, we love to pray. We always have practitioners here. We have Andrea here this morning. We have Reverend Marcus. We have Reverend Laura. So just walk up to us, tap us on the shoulder. We also have a prayer circle in the Emerson room right next door to the kitchen. We also have prayer cards in front of you can fill out and place in the box. I have one more announcement. Today we are launching for the first time Hilltop Spiritual Singles Group. So there is a table out there with all the events that are happening this year with sign-up sheets and flyers. Some of them require tickets. Of course, you know the seats are limited at all these events. Like our first event is a comedy show and dinner in Temecula Old Town. And there's only 48 seats available. So I'd like us to at least take up 8 of those seats. So I'll be there helping with collecting for tickets. And there's flyers for each event. And there's carpooling for each event. So singles, ... and couples. So let's have some fun, all right, this year? All right, and now we're going to move into, let's turn to the person next to us and say good morning. Love it. Love it. Let's put 2 feet on the ground. Take a nice deep breath to bring us to this moment now. Here we go. Inhale and exhale. We are so grateful for this morning. Aho, my prayer is your prayer. I recognize that God is the power, is the love, is the joy that flows through all of life on this beautiful earth. I am so joyous that I am one with this life. I am blessed knowing that the highest good this morning, today, and the rest of the week is what flows through me, to me, and around me. That beautiful highest good vibration. I am blessed knowing that joy and laughter flows through me, pushing out all that does not belong in my life anymore. I'm divinely guided to take that first physical step to change, to a new path, a new direction, to a more joyous, healthy lifestyle, to more joyous, loving relationships, and of course, a more prosperous lifestyle. And we welcome and are blessed this morning with the amazing Reverend Marcus and his wonderful message and spiritual tools that can help us along the way. And also for Lee Coulter and his amazing talents. What a blessing he is to our center. And Jim, the heartbeat of our music, and a wonderful teacher as well. And I release these truths into the law of mind, knowing all is well, all is at peace, all is good. Together we say, and so it is. All right. Each week we come up with a quote. This is a poem on your inner child. I step away from noise and strain, from heavy thought and looping brain. I enter where the small things flow, where gentle waters turn and glow. The world grows quiet, soft and wide. No rush, no pull, no need to hide. In simple joy, I'm free to be, just as I was, just as me. The child within is safe and sound. In wonder's space, I'm always found. No chaos here, no voice too loud. I honor me, unmasked, unbowed. And now we're going to move into a 3-minute contemplation, a beautiful space, a beautiful moment to be at one with yourself and with life. You are safe and surrounded by love. together we say, and so it is.
So I'm going to play this song that I wrote as a celebration of the idea that we all exist in each other's memories, in each other's perception. And I've been thinking about that a lot this year with the people who we've lost. That we get to create who we are in the eyes of each other. This is called nostalgia. It's also about the joy that we've been bringing up today, feeling those joyous moments as they're passing. Like a high school dance move, they played your favorite song when you were dreaming a dream, when you were only 18. I wanna be that one. I wanna be that one. Love, I love to live in your nostalgia. Love, I love everything about you. Love, I love not much without you. Love, I love to live in your nostalgia. You're the miracle worker. Yeah, since you came along, I've been living the high life, kissing under the street lights, glistening in the sun. I wanna be that one. Oh, the sound of your laughter, we were hanging out after, how'd you get so fun? I wanna be that one. Love, I love to live in your nostalgia. Love, I love everything about you. Love, I love not much without you. Love, I love to live in your nostalgia. And I'll hold you oh so tight, and I'll lay my cards down right, and I'll light that spark in a dark and fading night. When you're stuck in traffic, waiting on a plane, I'll be walking my talk while you're taking a walk down memory lane. You still look the same. Ah, you look the same. Just like a high school dance move. You're like my favorite song. When you were dreaming a dream, when you were only 18, I wanna be that one. I gotta be that one. Yeah. 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 Love, I love to live in your nostalgia. Love, I love everything about you. Love, I love not much without you. Love, I love to live in your nostalgia. 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 Thanks, everyone. Keep that round of applause going for our guest Reverend Marcus Gilliland.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, and Jim Jones, of course.
And Jim. Good morning again, everyone. Happy to be up here in Fallbrook. Wasn't too bad of a commute from San Diego this morning, but I was not aware of the Avocado Festival, so there was a lot more traffic coming into church this morning than I was used to, but I'm happy to be here. I grew up in a house where the TV was always on, almost always, or the radio was on. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but there was always some kind of background noise that was going on. The news, soap operas, anything. It was just the TV was always on, except when we all sat down for dinner. There was 4 in my family. I have an older brother, and Dad was a teacher, and Mom did hair, and then she did some other things later. But we were always home after school, and I think Dad liked to eat around 5:30, almost like clockwork. So whenever we could, we were all at the table. Protestant family, prayed, all that kind of stuff. The other time that the TV was turned off was if a serious conversation had to be had. And I knew it was serious if somebody turned around and turned off the TV and said, "We need to talk." Oh, what's going to happen? And honestly, sometimes sitting at the dinner table had that same kind of, oh, what's going to happen? But always there was that background noise. And so I was thinking about what it was like to have that kind of experience growing up, and to what silence did to me back then. It kind of made me anxious. And I think I'm experiencing that in the world a lot, that it's difficult for us to be in a space of silence because we're just used to all of this sound going on all of the time. We're always given an opportunity. If we have a smartphone, it's binging and vibrating and doing all kinds of things to get our attention, to look at something and to create some kind of activity or noise in our life. It's like there's some kind of void that needs to be filled, that we can't just be in the silence. So the follow-up question to what are we listening to and listening for, is, are we willing to stay in silence, to let down the guards in our life and listen to each other, listen to ourselves, listen to that still small voice within, and let it reveal truths to us. Sometimes those truths are uncomfortable, but there will always be something that comes through if we take the time to just be and to intentionally listen to that spiritual connection that we have that's indelible to us. In his book, 7,000 Ways to Listen, Staying Close to What is Sacred, Mark Nepo says, "I have been listening way inside, where the universe rushes through me like a wind through a hole in an old door in a hut near the edge of a cliff. I've been going there and listening on the inner edge of everything. There I've heard 2 irrevocable truths. The truth of life, the very fact of it, how it comes out of nowhere like a strong breeze to lift our faces, how it goes on its way, and the truth of how life, like a storm, can rough up our hearts, how we have no choice but to feel the wind move through us and around us. Trying to give words to this is difficult, but the first truth can be offered as the truth of things as they are, and the second as the experience of being human. These have become my teachers, trying to accept the nature of what is and trying not to deny its impact." And I can really relate to that, trying to be in the moment, in the world, what's going on around me, in relationships, and feeling it fully, and trying not to deny that there's some kind of impact that it has on me, doing my best not to use spiritual tools as a bypass, kind of that jargon that we have, but I actually truthfully trying not to do that, not to stand in the middle of a burning room and saying everything's fine, because things out there right now are not fine. And I find myself in this space of being human and recognizing and having the grieving heart and having the what can I do about this? And then at the same time going within, recognizing that this spirit that is within me is constant and that it will guide me on the way to the next gentle step, the next thing that is mine to do, taking me out of this big, huge picture of the morass that's out there, and instead taking it into that breathing space, that calming space, that silent place that's more available to me because it's right here where I am. Wherever I am, there is peace. Wherever I am, there is joy. Wherever I am, that fullness of the grace of God is flowing through me, always. Even if it's just like that little hole in the door on the edge of a cliff. It is always moving. It's never limited by anything. So then I just can see those things as obstacles then. The noise that's out there, the distractions, the news cycle, whatever it is, relationships. They're just obstacles in the way, they're just stones. But like the movement of spirit, we can move around them, not ignoring them, but moving around them gracefully, knowing that the path is still laid before us in a way that welcomes us. Not with fear, but with the assurance that Spirit is waiting for us, with us, and moving with us at every step of the way. The theme for this month, the global theme for this month for Centers for Spiritual Living is the practice of becoming. And I really loved Reverend Guy's talk last week when he was talking about the book of John and how it's an allegory of the creation story. And that this new relationship that was blooming in the garden was a new creation. It was a new becoming. It was a new way of seeing things. And then that got to me thinking about this image of Jesus after the resurrection. He's so free. He's so free. He can move without moving. I mean, he appears. He just, boop, there's Jesus. He's in the room with them, or he's on the road to Emmaus with the two that are walking. You know, he just shows up, and then he's gone, and then he shows up again, and then he's gone, you know, up until the last time when he's having fish with them on the beach, and then he ascends, in one of the accounts anyway. But I was thinking about this thought of having these challenges and the noise and the world and the two that are on the road to Emmaus, and they're talking about everything that's been going on and in their grief and in their distress, and Jesus shows up right next to him, but they're so ensconced in this discussion that they can't even see that it's him. And he walks a long way with them from one town to another. And not only that, they're like, hey, you know, it's getting late. Come sit down and have a meal with us. And he's like, okay. And, you know, and this whole time he's talked to them about how all of the revelations and all of the scriptures have led up to, you know, his presence and all of this stuff. And still they haven't seen him. It's not until they sit down and have a meal and he breaks the bread, they go, oh, and he's gone. And how much is my life like that sometimes, that I'm so deep in thought, or I'm so deep in a problem or a worry, and I'm walking along with people, and I don't realize that the divinity of life is right here next to me, that the divinity of life is sitting across the table from me. The divinity of life is flying down the highway at 80 miles an hour right next to me. You know, that's the opportunity is always there. And what am I listening to, and what am I listening for? And am I willing to be in the silence enough to let life reveal the truth that's there right now? Not the noise, not the opinions, not the stuff that's been going on since I was a kid. That the world's going to fall apart and everybody needs to be afraid. That's not the truth. So we can take silence then to be an active teacher. When I was in my mid-20s and I was consciously disentangling myself from the Christian church, I decided that wasn't really the place for my spiritual path. I looked at a lot of things. I looked at Buddhism, I looked at radical fairies in San Francisco, I looked at Wicca, I was just going to taste all of the things from the smorgasbord of spirituality. And one of the things that I studied for a while was Zen Buddhism, and not deeply, but mostly the practice of zazen, sitting still, upright, noticing posture, listening to the room, being present, not attached to anything, making a conscious effort to not effort, but to be one with the environment, to just be. Not to use meditation as a way of escape, but as a way of being present and here, right now, be here now. And that was a very different thing for me, not to attach to the thoughts, to just, some of them are bubbles, floating away, or it's like a leaf going down a river, or noticing a waterfall cascading, it's never the same twice. Just letting the thoughts move, letting it go. Recently, Gordon Hempton, in an interview with Krista Tippett in the program On Being, said that silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything. Makes me think of the first time I went to the Redwoods up in Northern California, and I was in this cathedral of trees, and that still there was this sense of sound, but it wasn't traffic, it wasn't ocean, it wasn't wind necessarily, but there was just this presence of something there that just enveloped me, that I just wanted to be in. It's what Joseph Goldberg calls creating a temple of spirit in our minds. By our consciousness, we create a temple where we can be in that silence and where we meet spirit, and where we can be vulnerable enough to receive the message from spirit that spirit is giving us when we're sitting in that time. We're in that place of safety. In the back of the textbook, Science of Mind textbook for Ernest Holmes, he has a glossary of some of the terms and how he defines them in metaphysics and the science of mind. And for silence, he says this: silence, this word is used oftener and perhaps less understood than any one word in terminology of the metaphysician. There is no place we must go for the silence. There is no particular posture we must assume. There is no formula we must repeat. We enter this inner tabernacle by whatever route we may. Some people live in such conscious unity with good that instantly they can turn within and direct the avenues they wish the good to take. Others need to approach by prayer, by singing, by reading a Bible verse, by reading an inspirational poem. If we know that God is forever right where we are, we shall not be reaching out in every direction for God. We enter the inner chamber of our mind and close the door on all discord and confusion and commune with our God, our spiritual consciousness. Our eyes do not see visions and our ears do not hear sounds. The silence is our communion with spirit, our awareness of our unity with good. So this is using silence to achieve stillness. And in the stillness, we achieve that alignment with spirit, where we can be in a place of responding rather than reacting. Because if we're constantly reaching out in different directions to find the good, the God, the peace, is it out there? Where is it? And somebody comes and asks us a question, it's like, what? It's that reactiveness within us. But if we're using silence as a tool to lead us into the stillness, then we can be in a place on a consistent basis when we're in the world of what my friend Rich Poser says, being a non-anxious presence in an anxious system. People feel that. We feel it. If we feel it, I know that I felt when someone entered the room, the whole energy of the room changing. Comedians are wonderful at doing that. They can change the whole environment by their observations and their joy. Doom and gloom can do that too when it enters the room. You can feel the energy shift and move. And if we can make that decision, if we can feel that, I know that we can do that as well. If we can be that place of calm, if we can be that place of peace within, knowing that there is nothing that can separate us from that, then we can carry that with us as a presence in this world. Ernest Holmes says, in the innermost recesses of uplifted thought and silent contemplation, there is a voice ever proclaiming, This is my child, my beloved. We must learn to listen to this voice. If you haven't heard the still small voice, then when was the last time you actually sat down to listen? And how long are you giving yourself? You can give yourself 2 minutes. That's a great practice. Just 2 minutes on your timer. Schedule it somewhere in the day. 2 minutes, 120 seconds. And then that can extend to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. I know some of you have wonderful spiritual practices where you might sit for an hour, in that silence and feeling, just being in that presence. Not judging, not expecting, but filling up with that energy. So I invite you today to recognize that voice of truth within your inner silence. Some of the things that you can do to get into that space, there's the 6, 7, 8 breath. You take in for 6 seconds, hold for 7, and release for 8. So just 6, 7, 8, bringing you, calming down the autonomic nervous system and bringing you into that space where the heart slows, the blood pressure goes down, we're able to connect with that life. You can also havening is this act of, giving yourself kind touches, gentle, smooth strokes, helps to bring down, again, that rate within you. Or maybe you just take a deep breath and be quiet for just a moment. So we do have the opportunity to listen beyond the noise of the world, to be connected to that one spirit that is within us. We can greet loved ones when we're in that space of response rather than reactivity. We can have a pleasant guise on our face and instead of the scowl of thought, We can practice listening to each other without having the ready argument at the end of their statement so that we're going to win this conversation. We can just simply be with that divinity across the table, let them have their talk and say, okay, and then what else? Tell me more. Let the others speak and be free. And if you notice agitation, find a way in your life to just take 120 seconds, to just be quiet, to sit, and to be grateful in that moment, that knowing that the Spirit is with us and will never leave us. So, beyond the noise is the one life that is always existing. It is the one presence that is always there. It never leaves us. It is all power. It is all abundance. It is all joy. It is all grace. It is all peace. And I know that because we are manifestations of this one life, that it is flowing through us right now. All of it, not just a portion of it. It is never diminished by what we are. We are the fullness and the richness of the Spirit right here and right now. I accept this for me, and I accept this for everyone here. I accept this for everyone online, knowing that this is the truth and the grace of God. And in that, I can just simply release that into the infinite law of mind that understands everything that I've said here, everything that is moving through me and everyone here, bringing to us good upon good, over and over and over, unceasing in its capacity to create and to be. And for this, I give great thanks. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Reverend. All right, we're going to do a little chanting along with the song that says, "Thank you for this day, Spirit." And if you're like me and you have a complicated relationship with certain words, I just think of spirit as existence. So when you're singing along, just think, thank you for this day that it exists at all. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day, this glorious, this glorious, this glorious, this glorious day. this glorious, this glorious, this glorious day. For this life, thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for this life. Thank you for this life, Spirit, thank you for this life. Beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful life. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful life, this breath. Thank you for this breath, Spirit, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this breath, Spirit, thank you for this breath. This nourishing, this nourishing, this nourishing, nourishing breath. This nourishing, this nourishing, this nourishing breath. Now breathe. Back to day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This glorious, this glorious, this glorious, glorious day. This glorious, this glorious, this glorious day. These friends, thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, thank you for my friends. My beautiful, these beautiful, these beautiful, beautiful friends. These beautiful, these beautiful, these beautiful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This glorious, glorious, this glorious, this glorious day. This glorious, this glorious, this glorious day. Beautiful. True story.
How grateful we are today. What a great town we live in with the Avocado Festival going on right now. At least 600,000 people visiting today. Well, it's been going up 100,000 each year. Yep. So I actually thought it was cute to advertise my dance studio by having 500 business cards ready to hand out to everyone. But everyone I handed it to said, I'm from LA. I'm from Riverside. Okay. So there went 500 cards for no reason. And I realized that the Fallbrookians were the ones running the booths. I should have just dropped one at each booth. So our center is growing. Today they're working, but our center is growing. We have an amazing youth and family group. We have lots of volunteer positions if you'd like to participate in anything. We have classes and workshops coming up for the rest of the year. And we have our new singles group launching today. Don't forget to stop by and pick up a flyer and sign up for one of the events or all of them. So now let's take our tithing, that grateful love on paper called money. And that tithing goes to many places through our center, not just to take care of our building and our amazing Andrea that takes care of our church, and Reverend Guy, and the music, and our special guest speakers. But it goes out to other organizations too. So our generosity not only flows through everything the center is, but it comes back to me 100-fold. Thank you so much for this beautiful life and all that I receive and all that I give. And together we say, and so it is.
People coming
Thank
through,
you.
coming through, coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do, but you do. You keep on coming through, coming through, coming through. Yeah, you. Yeah, you. Thank you.
So now we go on from this place knowing that the one life supports us and loves us and is our constant guard and guardian friend, always moving along with us, laying the path before us in ways that makes it simple for us to recognize the presence and the peace that is always ours, shaped in ways that are exciting and invigorating so that we might experience life in a new way, life that is beyond the noise and the distraction of the world and is instead that calm-centered place within that allows us to be a presence of joy and peace for ourselves and for others in this world. For this I am so grateful, and I know that we go from this place in peace, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Reverend Marcus. So great to have you here. Since it is Fallbrook Avocado Festival Day, I've got to play a song by maybe Fallbrook's most famous avocado farmer, Jason Mraz. Well, you don't know me and you bet I felt it. I tried to beat you, but you're so hurt that I melted. I fell right through the cracks, and now I'm trying to get by. Before the cool night run out, I'll be giving it my best. There's nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Da-da-do. Hey, hey, yeah. Open up your mind, see like me. Open up your plans and damn you're free. Look into your heart and you find love, 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 love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and say, we're just one big family, and it's our God-forsaken right to be loved, love, 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 love. So I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. I've been spending away too long, tricking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer, but my breath fogged up the glass. So I drew a new face and I laughed. I guess what I was saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanity. Just go with the season, it's what we aim to do. Our name is our virtue, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours, there's no need to complicate. Our time is short, this is our fate. I'm yours. Well, open up your mind, see like me. Open up your plans and then you're free. Look into your heart and you find a sky okay, because our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Full Books, Avocado King, Jason Mraz. Happy Sunday, everybody.